Introduction. Why should we think like monks? If you wanted to know how to dominate the basketball court, you might turn to Michael Jordan. If you wanted to innovate, you might investigate Elon Musk. You might study Beyoncé to learn how to perform. If you want to train your mind to find peace, calm, and purpose, monks are the experts. Monks can withstand temptations, refrain from criticizing, deal with pain and anxiety, quiet the ego, and build lives that brim with purpose and meaning. Why shouldn't we learn from the calmest, happiest, most purposeful people on earth? Becoming a monk is a mindset that anyone can adopt. In this book, one of the author's goals is to help you connect with timeless wisdom, along with other ancient teachings that were the basis of his education as a monk, and that have significant relevance to the challenges we all face today. The goal of monk thinking is a life free of ego, envy, lust, anxiety, anger, bitterness, baggage. To Jay Shetty, adopting the monk mindset isn't just possible, it's necessary. We have no other choice. We need to find calm, stillness, and peace. Part 1, Let Geo Think Like a Monk. Chapter 1, Identity, I am what I think I am. Often, our identity has so many layers that we lose sight of the real us, if we ever knew who or what that was in the first place. When you try to live your most authentic life, some of your relationships will be put in jeopardy. Losing them is a risk worth bearing. Finding a way to keep them in your life is a challenge worth taking on. Jay Shetty relates numerous reactions when he shared his intention to become a monk. The truth is, our families, our friends, society, media, we are surrounded by images and voices telling us who we should be and what we should do. How to build a meaningful life? The only way to build a meaningful life is to filter out that noise and look within. This is the first step to building your monk mind. We will start this journey the way monks do, by clearing away distractions. First, we'll look at the external forces that shape us and distract us from our values. Then we will take stock of the values that currently shape our lives and reflect on whether they're in line with who we want to be and how we want to live. Values are really practical. They're a kind of ethical GPS we can use to navigate through life. If you know your values, you have directions that point you toward the people and actions and habits that are best for you. Values make it easier for you to surround yourself with the right people, make tough career choices, use your time more wisely, and focus your attention where it matters. Without them, we are swept away by distractions. Our values are influenced by whatever absorbs our minds. Create space for reflection. Jay Shetty shares 3 ways so that you can create space for reflection. First, on a daily basis, sit down to reflect on how the day went and what emotions you're feeling. Second, once a month you can approximate the change by going someplace you've never been before to explore yourself in a different environment. Finally, get involved in something that's meaningful to you, a hobby, a charity, a political cause. Audit your life. No matter what you think your values are, your actions tell the real story. How do you spend time? No matter what you think your values are, your actions tell the real story. What we do with our spare time shows what we value. Conversely, like time, you can look at the money you spend to see the values by which you live. Jay Shetty suggests you trying these. A. Past values. Reflect on the 3 best and 3 worst choices you've ever made. Why did you make them? What have you learned? How would you have done it differently? B. Value-driven decisions. For the next week, whenever you spend money on a no necessity or make a plan for how you will spend your free time, pause and think, what is the value behind this choice? It only takes a second, a flash of consideration. Ideally, this momentary pause becomes instinctive, so that you are making conscious choices about what matters to you and how much energy you devote to it. C. Companion audit. Over the course of a week, make a list of the people with whom you spend the most time. List the values that you share next to each person. Are you giving the most time to the people who align most closely with your values? Chapter 2, Negativity, the Evil King Goes Hungry. Nobody wakes up and thinks, how can I be mean to or about other people today? Or how can I make myself feel better by making others feel worse today? Jay Shetty identifies 3 core needs, which are peace, love and understanding. Negativity often springs from a threat to one of the 3 needs: 1. A fear that bad things are going to happen, loss of peace, 2. And a fear of not being loved, loss of love, 3. Or a fear of being disrespected, loss of understanding. From these fears stem all sorts of other emotions: feeling overwhelmed, insecure, hurt, competitive, needy, and so on. These negative feelings spring out of us as complaints, comparisons, and criticisms and other negative behaviors. Studies show that negativity can increase aggression toward random, uninvolved people, and that the more negative your attitude, the more likely you are to have a negative attitude in the future. Types of negative people: there are complainers, cancellers, casualties, critics, commanders, competitors and controllers. You can reverse external negativity. You do so by becoming an objective observer. Instead of reacting compulsively and retaliating, we could enjoy our freedom as human beings and refuse to be upset. The 25-75 principle: for every negative person in your life, have 3 uplifting people. I try to surround myself with people who are better than I am in some way, happier, more spiritual. Allocate time. Another way to reduce negativity, if you can't remove it, is to regulate how much time you allow a person to occupy based on their energy. You can also reverse internal negativity: spot, stop, swap. To purify our thoughts, monks talk about the process of awareness, addressing, and amending. The author likes to remember this as spot, stop, and swap. First, we become aware of a feeling or issue, we spot it. Then we pause to address what the feeling is and where it comes from, we stop to consider it. And last, we amend our behavior, we swap in a new way of processing the moment. Spot, stop, swap. Peace of mind: you achieve peace of mind by practicing forgiveness. Jay Shetty highlights different levels of forgiveness we often apply in our lives. 0 forgiveness, conditional forgiveness, transformational forgiveness, and unconditional forgiveness. Giving and receiving forgiveness both have health benefits. When we make forgiveness a regular part of our spiritual practice, we start to notice all our relationships blossoming. We're no longer holding grudges. Chapter 3, Fear. Welcome to Hotel Earth. We have so much to offer the world, but fear and anxiety disconnect us from our abilities. In his commencement speech at Yale University, Tom Hanks highlighted how fear will get the worst of the best of us. The stress response: when you deal with fear and hardship, you realize that you're capable of dealing with fear and hardship. This gives you a new perspective, the confidence that when bad things happen, you will find ways to handle them. With that increased objectivity, you become better able to differentiate what's actually worth being afraid of and what's not. The cause of fear: attachment. The cure for fear: detachment. When you meet someone who gives off a negative vibe, you feel it, but you don't think that vibe is you. It's the same with our emotions: they are something we're feeling, but they are not us. Try shifting from I am angry to I feel angry. I feel sad. I feel afraid. A simple change, but a profound one because it puts our emotions in their rightful place. Having this perspective calms down our initial reactions and gives us the space to examine our fear and the situation around it without judgment. Useful and hurtful fear. Jay Shetty's teachers make a distinction between useful and hurtful fear. A useful fear alerts us to a situation we can change. Fearing that our parents will die is a hurtful fear because we can't change the truth of the matter. We transform hurtful fears into useful fears by focusing on what we can control. The Roman Stoic philosopher Seneca observed that our fears are more numerous than our dangers, and we suffer more in our imagination than reality. Chapter 4, Intention, Blinded by the Gold. The four motivations. 1. Fear. Thakura describes this as being driven by sickness, poverty, fear of hell or fear of death. 2. Desire. Seeking personal gratification through success, wealth, and pleasure. 3. Duty. Motivated by gratitude, responsibility, and the desire to do the right thing. 4. Love. Compelled by care for others and the urge to help them. These four motivations drive everything we do. We make choices, for example, because we're scared of losing our job, wanting to win the admiration of our friends, hoping to fulfill our parents' expectations. The why ladder. Fear, desire, duty, and love are the roots of all intentions. As we talk about intention, Jay Shetty highlights that he doesn't believe in wishful manifesting, the idea that if you simply believe something will happen, it will. As he says, we can't sit around with true intentions expecting that what we want will fall into our laps. Nor can we expect someone to find us, discover how amazing we are, and hand us our place in the world. Nobody is going to create our lives for us. Role models. The best way to research the work required to fulfill your intention is to look for role models. If you want to be rich, study, without stalking, what the rich people you admire are being and doing, read books about how they got where they are. Focus especially on what they did at your stage, in order to get where they are now.